Good afternoon. My name is Rassam Brunner. I'm 15 years old and I come from the borough of Hackney, where I sit on the Hackney Youth Parliament. I was wondering, from your points of view, how does the stereotype of young people affect the community cohesion?
That's a very good question. How does the stereotype of young people affect community cohesion? As a local council, I think I'm sure you should do that.
Yeah, I mean, it affects local communities a great deal. The residents' attitude survey still recognises that fear of crime is a big problem in our communities. And obviously the way that crime is perceived through the media and the way young people are portrayed in the media has a big impact on that, has a big impact on what people perceive to be the problems in their local area. And a lot of the time they are just completely blown out of proportion. I mean, I know in my ward, I've spoken to local police and asked them how many youth offenders, do they normally have problems with, and they've said no less than 10. You know, and we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of young people in each ward, and about 10 or so of them, give or take in each ward, are, the main cause of the problems. And it tends to be those 10 or so young people that do get the press coverage, and that has to change. But it definitely has a big impact on local communities. And tackling this issue today is not just going to, be beneficial for young people, but it's going to be beneficial for the whole community. And one of the issues that the police and the council are trying to tackle is the fear of crime and the perception of it. And like I said, the latest Brent residents' attitude survey still shows it is a problem.
Thank you, Councillor Ashari. Andy Hamlet.
I think I've touched upon it a few times already. Ultimately, it's massively divisive and just doesn't help anyone to feel good about where they live and what they do. So we've got the intergenerational split, and great again to hear the work you're doing to try and bring that together. That fear of crime does have a massive impact on people's lives and the way they view on it. But it also, I think, impacts on the calls that services get. I know police officers would know police stations quite often get calls from, there's a gang of young people hanging around on the street corner, and you come and you get called out, and then the police get in the firing line for what are you doing here? Well, we were called, we're responding, etc. A couple of police officers I've spoken to have started to use just to start to unpick and question the words that people use about young people. So, started to talk about gangs of OAPs hanging around at Windsor clubs, and you instantly think, hang on, why are you calling them a gang? They're just a group of, well, exactly. So why is it okay to call a group of young people hanging around a gang, but a group of OAPs is a group of OAPs? So that kind of impacts on people calling and the fear. And I think also, I'm sure it doesn't happen here, but other council responses in other areas have been disproportionate because of this. So one example I know of, a group of young people were hanging around a residence committee building. The first answer was, well, let's patrol them away. And then they started talking ASBOs already straight away. At no point did anyone think, well, why don't we get them in and talk to them? So all of that fear of, oh my God, this marauding group of young people might rip everything up actually impacts a huge amount. So again, the thing you're doing here, keep it going, because I think it's really, really important.